Hello everyone, my name is Alexander Kazina, aka Kozibear. I'd like to thank you for joining me this evening for another installment of Season 5 of Kozibear's Cooking. This is a limited run 6-episode show that you can watch live on both twitch.tv/KozibearLive and youtube.com/@KozibearLive every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time between July 3rd and August 7th. And if you miss watching it live, don't you worry. You can view full-length VODs of past episodes of the show on both platforms, as well as clips and highlight reels of the show's best moments exclusively on YouTube. I have a great episode in store for you, so let's get this ball right and rolling. Tonight, we are going to be making POUDING CHOMEUR. I gotta be honest, I know a fair bit of French. I lived in this country for nearly 30 years now. I don't fully know exactly how it's pronounced. Pudding, whatever. You can pronounce it however it is that you want to pronounce it. It's POUDING CHOMEUR. It is a classic Quebecois dish. Let me bring in a little recipe image right here over in the upper left-hand corner. As you can see, it isn't really like a pudding in the traditional custardy sense of the word. It's more of like a cake that's saturated with maple syrup. This dessert, which roughly translates to the working man's pudding or the working man's dessert, traditionally was actually not made with maple syrup. Way back in the day, it tended to be sweetened with other things. But nowadays, it's traditionally thought of as, oh yeah, that's like the iconic Quebecois maple syrup dessert. It's not as iconic as something like, say, poutine, which is sort of like the national dish of Quebec, but it's pretty up there. You walk into any grocery store here in Quebec worth its salt, and you're probably going to see them selling this dish. I've had it a few times in the past, not as often as something like poutine, for example, but I've never actually made it myself before, so this is going to be a first for us. We're not going to do anything particularly extravagant. We're not going to do anything unusual or off the beaten path that you wouldn't expect out of one of my streams. We're just going to be making this dish and then trying it with a little bit of whipped cream at the end. But I'm still down to have a good time, and I think we're going to have a good time. I do want to say right up front, right off the bat, right now, Montreal is expected to experience a lot of thunderstorms this evening. Just a little bit earlier, hold on. That's a good burp. Just a little bit earlier when I was prepping for the stream, I just heard a dramatic, incredibly loud crash, and I realized, oh, that is the thunder, because there is going to be a lot of thundering and lightning. Now, you might recall how over the course of the past several weeks, I've had several floodings in the basement here. Will we have another flooding? I don't think so. We've made a lot of improvements and changes since our last few floodings, and I think we're going to be okay. But of course, I will be keeping an eye on things. We'll also be making sure that we don't have any crazy electrical issues, don't experience a sudden power outage. If we do, well, I guess that's the end of the stream for this evening, because when a power outage hits the Kazina household, it tends to last for several days. But fingers crossed, we won't experience any power outages of note. And so, yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead, let's get cooking. You know, the faster we can get on with this, the less we have to worry about our stream being interrupted by a flood or a power outage or what have you. I currently have my phone plugged into a wire over here because I realized that it was running out of energy. My sister's asking about the weather. I will tell her the weather is okay. It's raining a bit, but I haven't heard too much thunder. And there we go. And so, yeah, hopefully that will assuage her concerns. Let's see here. So the particular recipe that we're going to be using today to make our POUDING CHOMEUR actually comes from a website called chefcuistot.com. And it's called POUDING CHOMEUR de Grand-Maman. That's the name of the recipe because this entire recipe is in French. I encourage you to go to this website, follow the recipe if you want to make POUDING CHOMEUR itself, because it has an incredible amount of likes and shares. It seems like universally the internet agrees that if you're going to go with and a recipe online to make pudding chômeur. This recipe from, sorry, an ad popped up, from chefcuisto.com. I'll just spell that out. CHEFCUISTO. Their pudding chômeur de grand-maman recipe is the bee's knees when it comes to pudding chômeur. But do keep in mind it is French, so maybe rely on a little bit of Google Translate or find your local Frenchman who can help translate on your behalf. Sister's asking if we've heard any thunder at all. I will tell her that I heard it once, not since then. And there we go. I have, of course, ahead of time went and translated the entire recipe, so we won't be doing any needless translations on the fly. Let's go ahead and let's read step 1. Step 1, preheat the oven to 325 degrees. Combine 1.5 cups of flour with 1 teaspoon of baking powder in a small bowl. I have not already preheated the oven, so we're going to take a very quick break right up front, go start preheating our oven, and then we will be right back. And I am back. The oven is preheated, which means that we can move on to the next part of step 1, which is combining our 1.5 cups of flour with 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Ugh, man, real burpy today. I don't know. What did I have? I had a thing of mixed nuts and a thing of dark chocolate that I got from Bulk Barn, which is a Canadian chain that sells a lot of food products like that in bulk. I didn't know what it would give me so much gas. I also had a homemade strawberry smoothie, but I typically don't get burpiness from those. It's very weird. All right, let's go ahead. Let's bring in our top-down camera. Let's see here. There we go. Start off with our flour. This is actually the same bag of flour that we used last week to make our dough for our lox bagel pizza. I thought for sure that we were going to end up using all the flour, making not just the batch of flour we made on that stream, but also the second batch that we made ahead of time. But in fact, I measured it ahead of time. We actually have just enough flour to do what it is that we need to do today. So we're going to measure out first a cup of flour. All right. Oh. This probably can use a little bit more. There we go. There we go. That's almost a perfect cup. And next, we need to measure a half a cup. Oh, that might be too much. Yeah, it's definitely a little too much. Let's see. And this is, yeah, it's almost, let me just do a little bit of leveling. Yeah, that's good. And there we go. We have our 1.5 cups of flour. Next up, let's get our teaspoon of baking powder in here. Funny, I don't think we've actually had a single stream so far this season where we've had to use baking powder. This is baking powder that I got from Costco, I believe. E.D. Smith, Baking Goodness Baking Powder, or as it's known in French, poudre à pâté. Find baking powder is always very satisfying to measure out because it's always so easy to kind of get rid of any excess that you don't need in your recipe like this. And there we go. And baking powder is dealt with. We won't need this anymore. In fact, we won't need any flour either. So we can actually start by immediately putting those in the trolley. Don't you love it? Don't you love it when you can do that? Okay. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna grab ourselves a spoon and just do a quick little mixer-upper. Nothing super extravagant, just make sure that our baking powder and our flour are well integrated. And there we go. I'll put that aside over there. I just need to move some things around. All right, that taken care of, it's time for step 2. Cream together 1/4 of a cup of butter in a large bowl, gradually adding 2/3 a cup of sugar. We're gonna go ahead. Our large bowl will be this large bowl right over here. Let's get our butter. Our butter is stored in this little lunchbox we have down here with a whole thing of ice. I couldn't find any cooler packs. I'm guessing my parents probably took it when they skedaddled off to our cottage for the weekend. Yeah, they decided to go to the cottage, not during the weekend actually, but during the week because they both have breaks right now. Let's see here. So I'm going to reuse the same cup that I used earlier for our flour. Now, this is where things are going to get interesting because I want to measure out 1/4 a cup of this stuff, but it might be a little bit challenging right now. Because the butter is still very, how did I say? Still very cool, very blocky, kind of hard to move around. Maybe I should have left it out to come to room temperature earlier. Oh well. These things slip your mind sometimes. Looks like about cup. Let's see, I think I can probably add just a little bit more. If I need more butter, I have more in the fridge upstairs for later on. Because this will not be the last time that we use butter during today's stream. I think that's about good. Okay. Let's see here. I need to use a spoon. And there we go. That's our 1/4 of a cup of butter. I'm wondering if, to make the process of creaming this a little bit easier, maybe we could, I don't know, I don't want to like pour any like hot water in here. I'm wondering if maybe something we could do is we could like heat the bottom of the bowl with a little bit of hot water from our sink nearby. You know what? This is not exactly going to be a particularly elaborate or extravagant stream. We're just making a single simple dish. Let's give it a shot. Why not? We here on Kozibear's Cooking are all about experimenting, doing the unknown, going bravely and boldly into uncharted and unexplored new worlds. All right. Of course, that means we'll have to also dry the bottom of the bowl before we bring it back in the other room. But we'll figure that out as we go. All right. This is definitely sufficiently hot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in this thing. I can definitely see it seems like the butter is like sliding around a lot more. The butter is definitely being affected by the warmness of the bowl. Cozy, you are a genius. This right here is what 4 degrees, not 4 degrees, I didn't earn 4 degrees, but 4 years of university will do you. This is why you go to higher education. This is why you go and live in Japan for 6 months on an exchange trip, so you can learn how to melt butter in a bowl like this without using a stove or any other kind of electricity. All right, I think that's enough. I think we kind of got our point across. I'm going to grab my dish towel that normally I have reserved for washing our hands, and I'm just going to use it to wipe down the bottom of the bowl, so when we bring it back to the table that we're working at, it won't be super duper wet. There we go. You know what? I think that I should probably move our portable burner out of the way. We will have to use it soon, but not right away. So we'll just put it there temporarily. What we will need to use right now is our hand mixer. So let me plug this bad boy in. Give me a sec. All right. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of creaming. What we want to focus now on just getting the butter so that it's kind of cohesive and not overly cold anymore. We want to get it down to like room temperature. We want to quite literally cream the butter. I'm going to turn it up a notch. Temporarily turn it off for a moment. I'm going to grab our spoon and just scrape down our butter so that we can get it all in one place once again. Just peel this out. Scrape some of the butter off the spoon like that. And we're going to just do a little bit more. I think it's pretty sufficiently creamed at this point, though. Probably don't need to do a whole lot else. All right. Let's see here. I know it's off to the side, but the butter won't fall out, so we're okay. We need to gradually add a third, 2/3 of a cup of sugar. We'll grab this measuring cup, which hasn't yet had anything go inside it. And let me just move these over here to the side for a moment. Hopefully nothing will fall down. Let's see. I'm trying to see, is this over or is this under? I'm having difficulty getting it level. I think that's about good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. We won't need any of the normal sugar for the remainder of the stream. We will need another sugar, but that's a story for another time. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna set it to its lowest setting. We're gonna gradually add our sugar into here. Add a little bit more. Add a little bit more. Add a little bit more. Little bit more. And here we go, the final batch. And turn it off. Okay, step 2 is completed, which means that it's time for us to move on to step 3. Mix 1 egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract into the butter and sugar mixture. Real simple. We're gonna grab our egg, which has been resting at room temperature for a little while now, which will make it easier to integrate into our dish. Hopefully we don't get any shell fragments when we do so. Well, hold on. I say that and I feel like the egg is about to collapse in on itself. And there we go. We got our egg in there. And where is our vanilla extract? There it is. Good old vanilla extract. We used a lot of that when we made our Nanaimo ice cream bars. We're going to grab our measuring spoons and we're going to use a good old 1 teaspoon measuring cup once again. And there we go. Apple News catch-up. 2 soccer staffers sent home from Paris after something. Whoa. Those darn soccer coachers. All right. And let's go ahead and let's mix this bad boy up. Now this is coming together really nicely. Now this is starting to look very solid. Let me just... I have this spoon over here. Let me just use it to scrape down any excess bits of sugar or butter that might still be on the sides of the bowl. So I want to make sure that we're properly mixing this bad boy together. And there we go. And there we go. nicely mixed up, looking really nice. The only thing is that the color of the mixture is almost one-to-one the exact same color as the bowl that it's in, so it's kind of hard to tell where the bowl begins and the mixture ends. It would be a really fun idea, actually, to make like a line of like plastic cooking bowls that like have bottoms that looks like there's something mixed in there, but in fact it's actually just hard plastic. That's an idea, actually. Maybe when I eventually start my own merch line, I'll do something like that. With that out of the way, step 4, we need to add half a cup of milk, a bit at the time, sometimes you slip up. We need to add half a cup of milk, a bit at a time to the mixture, mixing it vigorously until well combined. Once again, our milk is in the same lunchbox that we had our butter inside of. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to measure out a nice half a cup of this. We'll use the same measuring cup that we used our butter in earlier because it's all kind of the same. There we go. Let's see, we'll just stoop down here so we can see the right amount in real time. That's good. It's a little, ever so slightly more than what we need. I might as well, I'll probably drink the rest of this milk on stream anyways. There's a very small amount left and it would be a shame for it to go to waste. All right, that's taken care of. And so what we're going to do is, like with the sugar a little bit earlier, we're just going to beat this on a low speed and we're going to kind of slowly add the milk in phases. Slowly integrating it. There we go. The original recipe said that what we wanted to do is we wanted to add in a quarter of a cup first and then add the second quarter of a cup afterwards, but I mean, we can go even slower here and it's not going to make much of a difference. I think in retrospect, maybe it would have serviced me better to use one of my gray bowls for this instead of this colored bowl. A little bit left. And I'm just going to use our spoon to wipe down the sides again. Just make sure there's nothing hiding, nothing that's trying to prevent itself from integrating into the rest of the mixture. Okay, and with that taken care of, we're ready to move on to step 5, which is mix the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. Very simple. You know what? I think we're good with regards to the hand mixer, so I'm just going to temporarily unplug this, put this bad boy over here for the time being. We recently cleared off this landing right here, so we can put stuff there when we need to. There we go. Let's go ahead and let's schlep this all in here. This is going to be a pretty wet batter, even after we integrated all the dry ingredients. But it's all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan. now I'm wondering if actually maybe I should bring the mixer back into the fold so that I can help mix this up a little bit better, because some parts of it are looking a little bit on the chunky side. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna do that. Might as well. Don't take any chances. I'm not gonna overmix it though. Just do a little bit to get the idea across. Just wiping down our spoon. Actually, real quick, let me just check something real quick on my phone before we go for this. And yeah, okay, we're good. All right, we're just gonna mix it up a little bit, get it a little bit more cohesive. There we go. This is definitely the right call. I like how cohesive and smooth it's coming together now. All right. I'm gonna let the stuff disperse like that. Gonna put it back over here once again. Unplug it. All right. Yeah, it's definitely a lot less lumpy now. I think we made the right choice. You know what? I'm gonna remove the little thingamabobs on the hand mixer just so that they're not in our way anymore. And I'm gonna shove this into the trolley. Okay. That is taken care of, which means that it is time for us to move on to step number 6. We need to grease a 9 by 13 inch baking dish with butter, and then pour the mixture into the dish. Real simple, real straightforward. Let's go ahead. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to grab some more butter from upstairs, but there will be an opportunity to do so soon. So we're just going to grab ourselves a wad of butter with our paper towel over here, and then we're going to just use it to spread it all about on this baking dish. I don't know if you remember, but in seasons past, I actually originally used this baking dish that we're using right now to make the Snake Quake carrot cake. I believe that was at the end of season 2. I actually recently re-uploaded my overview video of the Snake Quake carrot cake to the Prime Kozibear YouTube channel, because originally it was on another channel called Kozibear's Cooking that I set up at one point in the past thinking, oh, this will be the channel where I put all my cooking stuff, but it ended up not being what I ended up using it for. I just only ended up using it for that one video. And I was like, you know what? I should probably consolidate all this stuff so people don't get confused. They don't go on YouTube, see Kozibear's Cooking and wonder where all the other videos and streams are. And so I'm like, I'm going to close down this channel, but I do want to preserve this video that I made. And so I re-uploaded it to the current channel that you're on. If you're on YouTube, that is. You can also find the original stream where I made the Snake Quake carrot cake on both YouTube and Twitch. Actually, I think it might only be on Twitch. Either way, that stream is interesting because, of course, it took me way longer to complete the snakequake carrot cake than I thought it was going to take. In fact, I basically ended the stream being like, yeah, I have to do more work after the fact because this is still not done. It took me so long that eventually partway through the stream, my Rode Go, the little thing that I use to connect my lav mic, it ended up running out of energy. And so I had to just put a bit of text on screen. It's like, hey, my microphone died. I'm charging it right now. My lav mic will be back later on. All right. Well, this is all greased up. So let's pour our batter into it. And pop goes the weasel. There's a lot sticking to the bowl, but I do have a scraper that I'll be using to help me. I just want to get as much as I can with the spoon first. Okay. First, I'm gonna scrape in what's currently on the spoon. Where can I put this thing? I don't want it to, you know what I can do is I can actually grab a little tufted paper towel and I can just put it down on that temporarily. There we go. All right. This is a dirty, 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 dirty bowl. That's for sure. I'll have to give it a thorough washing later on. Make sure that we can remove all this detritus from it. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Okay. We need to spread this up. So let's do that before we forget to do so. I gotta say, and like, we'll see how this recipe turns out. I was a little bit surprised that it asked me to use a 9 by 13 inch dish. I thought for sure that we would use just like a standard 9 by 9 inch pan, which I recently purchased for this season of Kozibear's cooking. I'm sure it'll come out fine, but it's just a little bit weird. I don't know. I thought it would ask me to use something that's a little bit more concentrated in terms of its surface square inch, because right now I'm spreading out the batter like pretty far and wide. Okay. Let me just, I want to make sure that there are like no sections of the dish where like, let me just, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Oops, not the zoom out button I should have used. I should do a better job of labeling these zoom out buttons on my stream deck. I just want to make sure that it's spread evenly so there are no particular spots on this where it's like, oh, it's really, the amount of mixture is really shallow there. It's a little tough though. Okay, I'm gonna get the extra bit of batter off the spreader, and then we will move on to the next step. There we go. Some point you just kind of got to throw up your hands in the air, because like there's only so much of a good job that you can do. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put this spoon into our bowl in our trolley, but we will need to use this scraper for more things later on in the stream, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and I'm gonna clean it right now. Excuse me. Real burpy today. It must be one of the nuts that I used earlier, that I ate earlier. By the way, I didn't buy this particular scraper for this particular stream. It just showed up one day randomly in our, what do you call, like, I guess cabinet where you keep big old cooking utensils. Anyways, I was happy to see it though, because this is making these streams much easier. Okay. Let's see here. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put this, oh, hold on. There's a little thing of, where is the spoon from earlier? Little thing of batter. There we go. That's in there. I'm gonna push that over there. There's a little bit of batter on the edge here, so I'm just gonna wipe that down. And there we go. There we go. All right, that's taken care of. It's time for step 6, or rather step 7, because we already completed step 6. Step 7, prepare 1 cup of maple syrup, 1 cup of brown sugar, and 1/4 of a cup of butter. We're preparing these ahead of time because we're going to need to add them into a mixture that we're going to be making with our portable burner in just a moment, and we need to do so fast. So best to prepare those ahead of time. Let's start with our brown sugar. So some of the same brown sugar that we used earlier in the season when we made our cheeseburger omelet. You might remember that we used a little bit of brown sugar there when we were making our hamburger patty mixture. Now we need to use a good old cup of this stuff. Let's see. Still need a little bit more. We're about 2/3 of a cup full. Still need a little bit more. Problem is that the brown sugar is a little bit clumpy, so you kind of gotta push it down to be able to accurately measure how much you have. Probably use a little bit more. I think that should probably be enough. I gotta crumple down these large pieces. no, this stuff is really, talk about something that's really messy. But that is a cup. That is a cup of brown sugar. So we're just going to temporarily put this in this bowl over here. There's a little bit of our flour mixture from earlier on the sides, but it's not enough that it will disrupt what we're going to be making in a moment. Let's go ahead. What's next? We should probably measure out our maple syrup, actually. In fact, you know what? Hold on, I got an idea. See, the thing is I need to measure out both our butter and our maple syrup. You know what? Maybe I should actually measure out the butter first. Now, let's do that first, because the maple syrup's going to be real sticky. Okay. Yeah, we definitely, I don't think that we have enough for 1/4 of a cup left, because we used a lot to grease up our pan just a little bit earlier. Let's see. Yeah, we don't have quite enough. I'm going to go upstairs real quick, grab some more butter, and I will be right back. We are back with our 1/4 of a cup of butter. I probably, in retrospect, probably should have measured this out ahead of time and just had my exact perfect 1/4 of a cup of butter ready to go, but sometimes things slip your mind. Okay, with that taken care of, let's go ahead and let's measure out our cup of maple syrup. Now, I really wanted to talk about this. I actually have been waiting months, if not years, maybe not years, but definitely months to talk about what I want to talk about right here and right now. This right here is not just any maple syrup. This is a maple syrup that I believe I was gifted at some point in the past called Rebelle Cuisine maple syrup. It is a organic maple syrup with a concentrated taste that the packaging on this maple syrup bottle says is ideal for your maple recipes. So this is not just any old maple syrup, although any old maple syrup would probably perfectly fine with anything that we would make with it. But this particular maple syrup is basically custom built for making something like pudding chômeur. Let's see here. I love the little description here. It says, nature decides. Rebelle is our way of seeing Mother Nature. Independent, strong, and free. As we have learned here in our mountainous region, she will deliver every spring, but according to her own rules, not ours. And so there we go. And yeah, let's go ahead. Let's pop this bad boy. Actually, it's probably, I say bad boy, but it's probably a bad girl because it is Rebelle. B-E-L-L-E. I have a little corky thing, which is unusual. Typically, maple syrup bottles don't come with a cork top like this. And we're gonna go ahead and we're going to pour this in. Oh, I spilled a little bit on the counter. Let me mop that up. Although while I'm here, before we go any further, I might as well taste a little bit of the maple syrup. See how Rebelle Cuisine's maple syrup tastes. Not a huge heaping amount, just gonna have a small spoonful. That's good stuff. I like that a lot. Although I do feel like this will probably be best serviced with by integrating it into the dish that we're going to be making today. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to bring our portable burner into the center of our frame real quick, because step 8, we are going to need to bring a cup of water to boil in a saucepan, and then we're going to add the maple syrup, brown sugar, and butter that we measured real quick. And we're going to let our mixture reach a boil again, and then allow it to reduce for a few minutes until it reaches the level of reducedness that we desire. I know reducedness is not technically a word, but it is now. Okay. So we're just going to move some things out of the way. Got our portable hood range, which we'll be using. Where are we going to put this? Put this here. This is the spoon we used for the maple syrup. I guess we can't use that anymore, so we'll schlep that in there. And we will grab our extension cable and plug it in there. Actually, let me just move that over there. There we go. Gonna go ahead. We probably didn't need the cover for this, to be honest. It's probably something we didn't need to include, and now we'll have to wash it. Oh well. Let's see. I just realized something. We actually, I'm going to take this off portable burner, seeing as how we don't need that. We actually need to measure ourselves a new cup of water. We have our other measuring cup, because the other measuring cup is currently occupied by maple syrup. I have this measuring cup over here. It's covered in the cake batter, but a quick rinsing will obviously cleanse it of that. So let's rinse it out and then measure ourselves a cup of water. Man, every single time I set up these streams, I always have so much trouble with the sync camera. You wouldn't believe. I need to come up with a better way to have my sync camera set up, something that's more reliable and doesn't require like a million minutes of me finagling with it ahead of time. If anybody has any ideas how I could do so, because right now I have my iPhone 6s set up remotely, I could theoretically just make myself like a big old long like USB extension cable leading to my computer and plug another smaller webcam in there, but I feel like there's another solution I'm not even considering. Yeah, I use an app called Epic Cam, EPOC Cam, on my iPhone, and it's just, yeah, it's very unreliable. Has been since the days of Kozibear's Cooking Seasons 1 and 2, back when I first started using my iPhone with Epic Cam for the first time. That's back when I used my iPhone 6S as the top-down camera for the stove. All right. We go ahead, we're going to measure ourselves a cup of water. And if we put it on flat surface, I can probably add a little bit more. A little bit more. Okay, I think we got our cup. An idea for future streams, I should probably implement a like foot pedal right here, right there where I'm standing, so that just as I come into frame, I step on the foot pedal and I can push the sync camera out of view. That's an idea for a future time. Okay, let's go ahead. Pour our cup of water into our pot, like such. And we are going to turn the portable burner on. I'm going to put it to, let's go with, out of 7, I'm going to go with 4.5 for now. And if it takes longer than planned, we can always increase the temperature as we go. Set the portable hood range nearby. And there we go. We can probably zoom out right now, just to give a better view of our overall stuff. And so once the water has reached the point where it just starts to boil, we'll quickly schlep our brown sugar and butter in there, and we will also pour our maple syrup in there, and we'll use our scraper to get it in there quickly. I always say scraper, by the way. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people would describe this as a spatula, but I mean, it's not like the kind of spatula that you use to flip over an omelet or flip over a burger. Should probably get my facts right for next time. While we're doing this, while the water is heating up, let's go ahead and let's clean up the table a little bit, because we want the table relatively clear for the end of the stream when we're going to be trying this bad boy. I'm going to put our brown sugar away. What else? Just want to go ahead. We're not going to need to use... Yeah, after this, I mean, we're not measuring anything else out, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put our measuring cup that we just used for our water and our measuring spoons into the thing as well. We have a little bit of water, although I did mention earlier that we would finish off the milk, so let's finish off the milk instead. Give ourselves a little bit of dog breath. And there we go. It's in a water bottle like this because parents were originally planning on taking it to their cottage in the eastern townships. But they forgot, and they were like, hey, Cozy, definitely make sure that you use up the milk when you have the chance to do so. And lo and behold, we just did just that. Is there anything else in our lunchbox? Also, I noticed that our water is starting to steam a little bit, so I'm going to turn on the portable hood range, just so we can absorb that, don't cause any issues. Right now we just have our pack of ice left in our lunchbox. I'll just keep it in there for the time being. No reason to have it dirtying up the rest of the stream. Let's see here. These spoons in this cup we will need later on for when we try out our pudding chômeur, so I'll just leave them there. The spatula will be for when we need to scoop out our pudding chômeur, so I'll leave it there as well. Let's see here. Yeah, I think we're pretty good right now in terms of having taken things off the table, so we'll just wait for our water. It seems like it's very close to boiling. This portable burner, man, it heats up really fast. It heats up way faster than our stove upstairs. I'm very impressed. The downside to this is, of course, the burner as a whole always gets a little bit too hot. You always need to handle it with oven mitts, but it's a sacrifice that I don't mind too much. I'll let it go for maybe, let's go ahead, we'll zoom back in. Here we go for like just under another minute, and then we'll start pouring our things in here. We will actually need one of these spoons to stir it up, so we'll have that at the ready. All right, I think we're good. Let's go ahead, let's start getting this stuff in here. And there we go. And not to be outdone, let me just put this in there. I'm gonna pour our maple syrup in here. I'm gonna use our scraper slash spatula slash whatever you call this thing to get as much of our maple syrup in here as we can possibly muster. I gotta say, I was really concerned for the weather this evening. I thought it was going to be thundering a whole lot, that the rain was going to be coming down really hard. It's actually been like pretty okay so far. I normally have these windows closed, but if I peek this open in just a moment, it's definitely still raining, but it's not even coming down all that hard. I can like barely make it out. I wouldn't want to go outside right now because I'd probably get a little soaked, but it's weird how like surprisingly not that bad the weather is right now, considering the weather report indicated that it was going to be just thunderstorms all the way down. I'm going to turn down the temperature a little bit. So you can see we have a little thingy of butter in here that we just gotta fully melt. The specific recipe I got this from didn't indicate how long we necessarily want to wait for the mixture that we have here to kind of like fully evaporate. So we'll just kind of eyeball it when it feels like we've reached a point where like, okay, that seems sufficient. Hope everyone's having a good day today. Today was, I gotta say, normally when I do these cooking streams, they tend to be like not necessarily the most productive days because I'm always like anticipating when I'm gonna have to do the cooking stream later on, and I feel like I can't really focus on too many other things. Today though, I got a couple of things done ahead of time. I did a bit of cleanup in the kitchen. Oh, look at that, it's beginning to boil once again, which is nice. I did a little bit of cleanup in the kitchen. I'll just stir it a little bit as we go. Once again, third time, did a little bit of cleanup in the kitchen. I returned something that I no longer needed from Amazon to Bureau en Gros, which is basically our staples here in Quebec. What else? And of course, when I did that, I went on a nice bike ride, so I got a lot of exercise done in the morning, which is always great. Because normally I don't get too much exercise done in the mornings before these streams, but this time around I actually got to flex my muscles a little bit, which I'm very happy about. What else? Oh yeah, I also booked up an upcoming trip that I'm going to be taking to Toronto in August, so that's really exciting. I normally go to Toronto around this time of the year because you have fun stuff like the Canadian National Exhibition, which is like a fun little like state fair kind of affair that's happening in Toronto. You also have Fan Expo Toronto, which is sort of like a Comic-Con style event that's going to be happening in Toronto as well. I don't have the exact date in mind yet of when I'm going to be at Fan Expo because it's happening Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of the weekend it's happening, which is like the 22nd to the 25th of August. Don't know the exact date, but you can probably look forward to seeing me at that event at some point during that weekend. Just need to figure out the exact time. And yeah, of course, I'll just be hanging out because I like Toronto as a city. It's always a fun place to visit, catch up with family and friends. Probably let it reduce for like another 2-ish minutes. I can actually probably boost the heat a little bit because it seems like it's not boiling as intensely as I thought it was going to. I was concerned for a moment there actually that it might almost boil over in the pot. If that had happened, that would have been calamitous because let me tell you, this sugary stuff is impossible to it's impossible to clean, especially when it gets on these burners. The desk wouldn't be that bad, but yeah, the burner would have been impossible, but thankfully that didn't happen. There we go. That's a lot better. Smells really good too. I gotta say, this right here smells like a cabane à sucre, which is a Quebec tradition, usually happens in the spring, where basically you have the opportunity to do the tir de neige, where they pour hot maple into a like trough of snow, and then you kind of like wind up the hot maple syrup on like a popsicle stick, and it becomes like a little maple taffy candy. And they have all sorts of other foods like maple smoked beans, pudding chômeur, for example, maple smoked ham, bacon, a whole lot of maple related foods. All right, I'm gonna turn the temperature down again because I feel like it's beginning to rise a little bit too much. I think we might, yeah, I think we're very close to getting to the point where I think that we've reduced this thing by just enough. Just want it to die down a little bit just so we can have an idea of how much it's been reduced by, and then I think we'll move on to the next step. All right, just like another minute, and then I think we'll be good. In fact, you know what? I'll set the minute on my timer just so that we can properly time this out. There we go. That will probably be something that we'll probably want to research for next time. Danfin128 says, good evening. Sorry I'm late. How's it turning out? It's turning out pretty good. Right now, I have on my portable burner a mixture of maple syrup, water, brown sugar, and butter that I'm letting reduce for a little bit. Although the timer on us reducing it actually just went off. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn off the portable burner and unplug it as well. The idea is that we're going to be pouring this onto our cake batter, which we have right over here in just a moment. I was just mentioning that ahead of time, I probably might have wanted to research some other recipes just to see what they recommend in terms of how long we out to let this mixture reduce, but I think that's about okay. I think we're going to be good. I'll just let it... Eventually, I will take it off the portable burner. I just want to leave it here while the portable burner naturally cools down. Okay. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to move my phone over here to the side. We're going to move some things out of the way. In fact, if I take this off, yeah, we're good. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to move this out of the way temporarily. We're going to grab one of our hot plates. We're going to put this on this hot plate over here. Like that. And actually, hold on. We still need these things because we still want to further move the portable burner out of the way. We're actually going to put it sideways like this so that it interferes as little as possible with the rest of our workspace. And I don't see a whole lot of steam coming out from this, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just turn our portable hood range off. Okay. I guess I can probably I'll just put this thing over here on the same platform as our hand mixer. Look at this thing. If I try, this is a spoon that I used earlier. I was going to try and taste test this thing, but I think I actually put the spoon that I used earlier to taste test the maple syrup down below. So I don't think we'll be able to do that. Okay. Let's go ahead and move this here. Move this there. And let's move on to step number 9. We are going to pour our maple mixture over the cake batter mixture, and then we're going to bake it in the oven for 45 minutes. Let's go ahead. I'm going to grab a pot, and very carefully, because it's very hot, we're going to pour it over our batter. Actually, let me real quick put a couple of these things on top of this. Also, oh, a little piece of our hot plates ended up in the batter. That's not good. There we go. Got it out. There's a little like wooden twig. All right. And without further ado, let's go. And that is taken care of. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to, just going to push this out of the way. Oops, I did not mean to do that. A little thing of maple got flicked onto the portable burner. I'm just going to wipe that up real quick. With that taken care of, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this thing in the oven. I'll be back in just a moment. And we are back with a layout on our stream that we have not seen in quite some time. As you guys know, back in season 4 of WhatsCooking, I used to switch to this particular layout a lot. This is a layout in which I can show you in real time myself playing a video game such as Pokemon Emerald Rogue, which is what we're about to play right here in just a moment, but we'll get to that in just a bit. I used to do that a lot in season 4 of Kozibear's because there were a lot of dishes where I had to put them in the oven. I had to deal with something off stream for a real long period of time. And yeah, I needed to use it a lot. Didn't need to do it that much this stream because the addition of the portable burner meant that I didn't have to kind of bounce over to this setup as much as possible to waste a little bit of time. Before I forget, let's go ahead and let's start our timer for today. As you can see, if this is your first time tuning in, watching this particular setup, I have a little Pokeball thing right over here that basically indicates how much time we have left. Technically, the timer is a little bit off because we spent a few minutes there setting up this particular setup. So when our cake, our pudding chômeur comes out of the oven, it will probably have been baked for like maybe 48-ish minutes, but I'd imagine that probably won't dramatically affect the thing. We're not going to suddenly burn the hell out of our oven because we put it in there for a little bit too long. Danfin128 asks, what is the music? So all the music that you hear on my live streams come courtesy of Pretzel Rocks, which is a app that basically plays all sorts of royalty-free music. The particular track that you were just listening to is called 21 Miles to Minneapolis by an artist called Abstraction. So you can go and check that out. Typically in the edited highlight reels and clips of my stream, I typically use music that comes from, what is it? From upbeat.io, which is another service that offers piecemeal music tracks and sound effects that are also royalty free. Let's go ahead though, and let's jump into Pokemon Emerald Rogue. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, you know what? I just realized I actually have it set up in OBS such that I can actually hear myself in the Rode Go microphone. I have it set up to monitor and output, but we want monitor off. There we go. So Pokemon Emerald Rogue is a mod of Pokemon Emerald that basically turns it into a roguelite adventure. Right now, basically what I'm in right now is basically a representation of the various kind of challenges that we have ahead of us. This is a team hideout, which is like an area where we're going to have to battle a lot of trainers, but potentially get a lot of cool rewards in the process. This right here is an average typical route, which basically means a route that's going to contain 4 different pocket monsters that will probably all be like normal type. Right now, our team consists of the Tauros from the most recent Gen 9 games, that's fighting and water type, a Krogunk, and a Mulga, a Stonjourn, a Metang, and a Florges. Perhaps not the most powerful and balanced team of all time, but I'm still, I don't know, I'm a little bit fond of this. You know what? We will go ahead. We're going to do the team hideout route because I think that will be more exciting. And then after that, we will have an opportunity to catch some more Pokemon. I'm here for some work experience. Let's see how I manage. By the way, this is a new headset that I actually got just recently. I wanted a headset that would contrast a little bit better with the darker background around me. And so I decided to get something white instead of the black headset that I used to have. This is actually perfect. We're going to use Raging Bull, which is normally a normal move that will actually basically change to match the typing of our particular Tauros, which in our case is water. Well, it has hidden power though, which is not good. Wow, that was, I mean, I didn't expect it to kill me, but like, that was unexpectedly powerful. The way that leveling works in Pokemon Emerald Rogue is that you gain quite a few levels all at once. So when you're at like 35 or 25, you go up to like 29 or 39. And you typically only gain that once per, like, combat encounter. Oh, I figured it might be a Zoroark. And there we go. Oh no, we got burned. It's not good. Let's see. So basically the way that leveling works is also, it works such that everyone in your party all levels up a little bit at once. So Krogunk is actually now at level 39. So we can actually choose to evolve him right here from our menu. Danfin128 says, you might want to change the stream category until the timer runs out. I guess I could probably do that. Let's see here. If I had my phone on hand. Oh no, did I leave my phone upstairs? It's okay, I can probably do it from my browser. The thing is, I don't like opening up too many things in my browser while I'm in the middle of doing my streaming, because it's gonna slow things down. No, we don't want that. We want the dashboard. Hold on. You never know if something might unexpectedly crash because you have a million things open. Let's see here. And yes, I've not forgotten about Krogunk, which is now a Toxicroak. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll change this from food and drink to, I'll just change it to Pokemon Emerald. And there we go. I think that's good. All right, let's return to our stream. Tauros is burned, which is not good. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to switch to Toxicroak, put him up front, have him deal with some of the trials and tribulations that are ahead of us. Uh-oh. We are dealing with another Magma Grunt. Now, what is it that he wants? Let's find out. Well, we don't know what he wants, but he does have a Camerupt. I don't think this is a very good matchup for us. We don't have a move that's super effective against it. Does a Mulga have anything? It does have acrobatics. I'll switch over to a Mulga. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, I think a Mulga is dead. I don't think that a Mulga is going to make it out of this alive. And when one of your Pokemon dies in Pokemon Emerald Rogue, unfortunately, it's permadeath. But we will be able to capture a replacement for a Mulga in due time, so I'm not too upset. A Mulga is probably the weakest link on our team right now, so it was never going to last very long either way. Even though we're burned right now, we still did a lot of damage because we're quite a few levels higher. And also, I mean, Camerupt is hurt 4 times by water attacks. Morgrem. Of course, this is the fairy dark type Pokemon. I'm going to switch into Florges because fairy type moves will still be super effective against it. And we're going to use Moonblast. It used Taunt, but it doesn't realize that we have already sealed its fate. And there we go. Unfortunately, I'm sweating up a little bit right now, so if it seems like my glasses are fogging up a little bit, I'll have to excuse that. These streams are always very sweaty. I should probably figure out a way to really just turn the temperature in the basement down to a cool, crisp freezingness. Camerupt. We probably... You know what? I'm concerned about getting hit by another eruption, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to use Drain Punch. At least take care of a good chunk of its HP. We probably won't one-hit KO it, but... damn it. I think we might need to pray for Toxicroak here. Wow, really? And we were that much of a level. Well, this sucks. spoilers, I might have a backup save file elsewhere that doesn't have a bunch of these Pokemons dying on it. But for now, we'll pretend that this is all legitimate and all something that we need to worry about. Unfortunately, we don't have any fighting moves on us. So I'm going to switch back to Florges. After this battle, I'm probably going to have to... I'll probably take a moment to heal Tauros a little bit, because Tauros is very powerful, but we're not... we've not really given Tauros the proper opportunity to really fully flex itself by having it be neutered for 2 battles in a row. Let's see here. Here we go. Medicine. I'm just gonna... I'll use up my potions first, because that means they'll no longer take up a spot in the bag. Your bag starts with, like, I think 40 items, and then you can gradually expand it over time. But right now, we can't hold too many things in it. There we go. Oh, I just realized, because Matang, along with everyone else, has reached level 45, we can actually evolve it as well, which means we were going to have ourselves a super powerful, super cool Metagross on our team. Let's see here. Bullet Punch is good. Zen Headbutt is good. Flash Cannon is definitely the weak move here, so we're going to get rid of Flash Cannon. And there we go. We got a Firestone. Let me tell you, cash is pretty hard to come by in Pokerogue. Normally, most of the normal routes that you take in this game don't award you a lot of money out of the blue, excluding like items that you can sell for more money. So we're gonna, in this particular case, fight as many trainers as we can, because they're gonna award us with a lot of moolah for doing so. Probably, I bet Drill Run will do good damage on this guy. And there we go. Why does she have to say, sorry, you're not wearing the correct uniform, so I got confused? Interesting. I suspect we probably won't use Icy Wind all that much, but we'll see. This particular route that we're currently going up right now is basically the, what is it? It's the mountain from Pokemon Emerald near Lava Ridge Town. But basically it's been retrofitted so that we can easily walk up it and battle all these trainers. You'll also notice that a lot of the moves that we're using right now... Uh-oh. A lot of the moves that we're using right now, like Drill Run, Raging Bull, Aqua Jet, Work Up, all 4 of the moves that we have on Tauros are actually moves that did not exist in Gen 3. The creator of this mod managed to basically retrofit them back into this generation, which is really impressive, honestly. Man, Raging Bull, the move, is like really saving this run. It's not good. Absol is a very... and it was holding a Life Orb. Absol is like a very powerful Pokemon that doesn't get many opportunities to really flex its muscles, but in that particular fight, it really did. We're going to want to fight her. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to... We'll use our remaining waters to heal up Tauros a little bit. We'll use a Super Potion as well. There we go. We are quickly approaching 31 minutes, which means that we'll be 1/3 of the way through our cooking time for our Pudding Chômeur. When I poured the maple mixture onto the Pudding Chômeur, I'm a little bit ashamed of the fact that the way that we poured it, we actually kind of created a little bit of a hole in the center. I suspect that probably won't influence the way in which the dish will bake all that much. That is a little unfortunate. That's probably something I should have anticipated ahead of time, and I probably should have poured it a little bit more carefully, knowing that that was what was going to happen. Good thing we have a priority move. The only thing about Raging Bull is it's going to run out of power points kind of soon. So that's something we'll probably need to keep in mind. And here we go. Another Magma Grunt, if you can believe it. Another Camerupt. Wow. These guys love Camerupt. I don't know what it is. Something about this fire and ground type Pokemon that really speaks to who they are at their core for whatever reason. Unfortunately, if Tauros was a normal type Pokemon, that Shadow Claw wouldn't even hurt it, but because it's a fighting and water type Pokemon, it's now affected by it, sadly. Ooh, Salazzle. A lot of not safe for work art of this guy online. And obviously it should be obvious by this point, but this particular mod includes Pokemon from all generations that have come out since Pokemon Emerald. So you have, you know, not just Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, but also Gen 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and also all the weird Pokemon in between that we got in Pokemon, what was it? Legends Arceus as well, that I think are technically part of Generation 8. Anyways. It was pretty cool that they straight up just introduced a bunch of weird new Pokemon in Generation 8 like that, actually. Even some like weird ass Pokemon like, hey, we introduced a new Goodra that's part Steel type that like no one ever talks about, but apparently is like pretty decent. And there we go. Unfortunately, Raging Bull has run out of power points. So we'll probably want to replenish that. Oh, I didn't even see him. Well, thank God that we still have Aqua Jet. There we go. Houndoom is defeated. Grimer. This is actually a perfect opportunity for us to use Drill Run. Because this particular Grimer, I mean, both Grimers are poison type, although this one is both poison and dark type. What I like about this mod is that every time you collect an item, it doesn't have like a big old fanfare. You just collect the item and it notifies you at the top of the screen, hey, this is what you just collected, which I really appreciate. Okay, let's see here. Aqua Jet time. Ooh, another Zoroark. Well, I did not expect that to instantly kill it. Before I forget, let's use one of our items so that we can restore the power points of The power points of a Pokemon's moves. I guess this is all we have on hand, huh? Well, we've used up enough of Taurus's other moves that I guess it probably won't matter that much. I swear, this day will be remembered in history as the great day that a million Kameurups died. Poor guys. Poor guys. Ooh, it's the new Quillfish, which is another poison and dark type Pokemon. That is, speaking of weird Pokemon that they introduced in Pokemon Legends Arceus, what is it? The evolution of Quillfish, Overquill, a Pokemon that many of us have been wondering, you know, for years now. Like, will this Pokemon ever exist? It finally came to be, but in an unexpected fashion. Another Pokemon that I don't feel like I hear a whole lot of people ever talk about, even though I kind of like its design. He's a real baddie. And there we go. I think we're probably gonna have one more battle. We kind of want that leaf stone, so let me go ahead and let's see here. I'm gonna toss that, and you know what? While I'm here, we have a few feathers. Let me use the muscle feather on our Tauros so we can make a few more spaces in our backpack. And there we go. Oh, look at this. Whoa, look at that. 10 rare candies. All right, Brendan, let's see what you got. Ooh, here we go. I just realized ahead of time, I probably should have healed up Tauros a little bit. I bet we'll probably be able to one-hit KO it Raging Bull, though. Or maybe not. Oh. Now, here's the thing. Bad news is that makes Cast Form resistant to my Water-type moves. The good news is that the Rain makes my Water-type moves more powerful, so I bet you I can just one-hit KO it. Well, not one-hit KO it, but I guess 2 KO it with another Raging Bull. There we go. This is not a good matchup. I'm going to switch in Metagross. This is the first time that we've used Metagross on this stream, actually. Not gonna lie, they did a good job with a lot of the new move animations. I don't love the way that Dazzling Gleam looks, to be honest. No seeding, please, no. No, 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 no. Ooh. I'm going to switch to Florges on this one, because Florges has a move that will actually allow us to do a lot of damage. We are going to get a little bit hurt, but Florges has good special defense, so we should be okay. Here we go. Why is it faster than us? We are unable to one-hit KO it, so I'm going to... Here we go. We'll use one of our energy roots. I'll just speed up this part. I don't like to use the speed up too much on these, but we get the... Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Is that my punishment for trying to use the speed up? You know what? Something gives me a feeling. I have a sneaking suspicion that Walrein might be locked into Ice Beam, so I bet that if I switch back to Metagross, I can dispose of him safely, knowing that he's not going to try to use any other moves. There we go. Ooh, this guy. I used this guy in my playthrough of Pokemon Shield a few years ago. He was like a very late game addition to my team. I always love weird, creative fighting types like Grapple Lock, but I don't know. I feel like he's just one of those Pokemon that's just a little bit too one note. Like, he's very good at fighting type moves and not a lot else. All right, Stonjorn, please try and defeat this guy quickly, because this could go out of control very quick. Oh no! Fuck! All right. I hope. Damn it. Oof. Ah, you fucking piece of shit. Are we gonna lose? Are we actually gonna lose on this? Spoilers, I did not lose when I may or may not have hypothetically played through this exact route on another save of this exact game. Wow, we are, I mean, Florges and Metagross, probably, like, not too bad Pokemon to be stuck with at the end of a, like, at the end of, like, such a calamitous battle like this, but, like, wow. So we know Zoroark has Sucker Punch, which I don't think it has access to anymore. It has Swords Dance, it has Low Kick, which won't do a lot of damage. What's the fourth move? That's what I'm concerned about. Knockoff. Fuck. I really misclicked there. I really should have just used Moonblast. Wow, this was a... Talk about a close battle. It's a good thing that we have access to a lot of rare candies, because we're going to want to use those to boost up our Metagross by quite a few levels. The way that Pokemon Emerald Rogue works is basically you're limited in terms of the amount of levels that you can level up on a particular segment of a run. So in this particular segment, the maximum level we can reach is 45, but with the use of a rare candy, I can actually... Where are they? There we go. I can actually bump our level beyond what it can normally get to. So we're going to bump our level to 55. And there we go. That will just make things a little bit easier for us. Timid Mints. We definitely want some of those on our team. We will toss this Paralyze Heal. And I'm going to go ahead, and I'm actually going to right away, where is it? There it is. I'm going to use this Timid Mint on Florges because it will appreciate getting changed to that particular nature. And we have encountered a Darumaka. This is actually very convenient for us because this particular Darumaka evolves with an Ice Stone, and we actually just picked up an Ice Stone like a moment ago. I think all of our moves would immediately kill it, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just toss a Great Ball and pray that this works. Yeah, there we go. No nickname. You catch so many Pokemon in Emerald Rogue that nicknames are kind of unneeded. Let's see here. At certain rest stops during these runs, you can encounter vendors that are selling evolution stones for like a very high price. You know what? I don't want to lock myself into a move that doesn't have perfect accuracy, so Yeah, like I was saying, in these runs, you can encounter vendors that are selling evolutionary items for a bit of a price. So that's if you didn't encounter just a ice stone randomly during a run, that's how you would get access to an ice stone. But obviously it's a little bit pricey, so it's something that you have to, it's definitely a trade-off there. Either you get lucky and you find an ice stone randomly, or you shell out the money. All right, I think Wormadam is not exactly a Pokemon I see ourselves using a whole lot on this run, but we need to fill up our team with Pokemon to account for the decimation that happened in the previous area. So we are just about to pass the 30-minute mark with only 15 minutes left on our timer. Which means we are 2/3 of the way through. Another Pokemon, Mawile, is another Pokemon that I don't see ourselves using. Mawile does have a very powerful Mega Evolution, which we do have access to Mega Evolutions in this game. But I don't know if we can actually immediately get the Mega Stone for it. It might be very expensive, so I'll toss a couple of balls and see if we can capture it, but if we can't, I'll just move on. Ah! All right, I'm gonna use a Great Ball. I don't have any Ultra Balls or anything better on hand, so I'll just pray that this does the job. No, it does. How is it that Mawile is such a hard Pokemon to capture? I'm shocked. And thanks to that, our Darmanitan actually will grow to level 45. Ooh, we got a Luxray. We'll capture this guy. I mean, I hope we'll be able to capture this guy. We'll use Bullet Punch to weaken it. All right, we'll just speed up a little bit. That's good. Let's see here. We have no real good Pokeballs. We'll just use our Friend Ball. I think we should probably switch over to someone else. Florges, you're up. All right. There we go. In this particular instance, using the speed up actually helped us. No, we do not need a nickname. All right. Last Pokemon we're going to catch here is a Cufant. Oh, that's not good. Can I throw a Pokeball while it's underground? Nope, I cannot. Just checking. Ooh, there we go. That's brought it into perfect range. I'll do another friend ball, see if that works. Yeah, there we go. Welcome to the team, Cufant. Oh. I think that might be a shiny Mawile, but unfortunately I don't think that we can go back up there. Ooh, we got some Ultra Balls. That's cool. Beast Balls. Those can actually be kind of useful. So let's see here. Are there any other things we can get rid of? Oh, you know what? I can probably teach some TMs to someone. Here, I'll teach Rock Blast to Cufant. Probably don't need Stomp when we have Strength, so I'll get rid of that. Also, I just noticed we can actually evolve Cufant, so let's do so now. What? Cufant is evolving. Another small change they implemented is Pokemon evolve way faster, which I appreciate. Your Cufant evolved into Copperaja. It's trying to learn Heavy Slam. Delete a move to make room for Heavy Slam. Why, yes. Don't mind if I do. This is a Pokemon I use in my Pokemon Shield run that I actually really benefited from. He was definitely a pretty big MVP on the team. Thunderstone. Waterstone. We already have a bunch of those, so you know what? I'm gonna pass on them and we'll just move on to the next area. Let's see here. It's a daycare rest stop. We'll rest up there for a minute. Ooh. Cozy, I have your order ready for you. Well, it looks like you need to free up some space in your bag first. Yeah, it would appear to be that that is the case. Let's teach Icy Wind to someone. Why is Metagross the only Pokemon that can learn it? You know what? We're not going to need Strength Sap, so I'm just going to toss that. There we go. We got 3 Great Balls. So this is, I made an order ahead of time, and that dude brought her order to us. We're going to speak to her. We're going to patch ourselves up, and then this lady here will sell some cool items. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to need to sell some stuff. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to sell Psywave. We're going to sell Icy Wind. What else? We don't need a serious mint. We don't need a hasty mint. And I think that's good. All right. We're going to go ahead and we're going to buy ourselves 2 Adamant mints. We're going to buy ourselves a Jolly Mint. And I think that's good. Yeah, this Pokemon Rogue makes it so that it's pretty easy to acquire mints throughout your journey. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give the Jolly Mint to Darmanitan because we need that considering it already has Guerrilla Tactics, which is a basically it's like an ability that functions like Focus Band where it locks it into one move and it ups its attack, so it might as well up its speed. Copperaja is already Adamant. I'm going to give the Adamant Mint to Metagross, so it also becomes Adamant. And I'm also going to give the Adamant Mint to Luxray, so it also becomes Adamant. And yeah, I think we're good. All right. With that taken care of, I will show you what happens next. Basically, the idea is at the end of these areas, you have to face off against a Mighty Trainer, which is always going to be a gym leader, although eventually later on, if you get further into the run, they will become Elite Four members. And before you battle them, you actually have the opportunity here to battle this one trainer that has a level 1 Chansey. And basically what this does is if you defeat this level 1 Chansey, it will bring all Pokemon up to the current maximum level for this point in the run. So I mentioned earlier how everyone right now can get up to level 45. This basically makes it so that everyone in the party gets up to level 45. So everyone is at the maximum most level that they can get to for this point in the run. Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get many opportunities to really learn new moves. So you know what? Let's go ahead, learn some new moves from what's available. So the way that this particular mod works is that, like, when your Pokemon levels up and would learn a new move from leveling up, instead of it immediately asking you at the moment, hey, do you want to learn this new move? It allows you to go into the menu and like learn moves on the run, I guess you could say. Let's see here. We can actually probably benefit from Bulldoze. That will be more useful than Dig. I think Copperaja is good. Let's see here. Luxray. Well, not a big selection of interesting moves. Wormadam. Is there anything interesting here? Psychic. Wormadam can learn Psychic, and it's the steel bug type as well. It's interesting. Well, we'll definitely get rid of Psybeam. And I think we might as well learn Bug Bite as well. And, I mean, it won't do a lot of damage, but this could have some utility purpose. We'll teach it Sucker Punch as well. There we go. Check it out, guys. The most competitively viable Wormadam we've ever seen. Darmanitan. Let's see here. Yeah, I think the moves we already know are probably good. Is there anything that Florges can learn? Ooh, Petal Blizzard, but it's physical. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there's anything else there that we can really benefit from. Oh, Metagross can learn Meteor Mash. I'm going to go ahead. We'll get rid of Psychic so we can learn Meteor Mash. And there we go. Without further ado, who are we going to be battling? Oh, it's good old Brawly. Now, this is a pretty good matchup for us because Metagross is part Psychic type, and it has a good Psychic Stab move in the form of, what is it? Right, Zen Headbutt, but we are battling Metacam, which is a Pokemon that is not hit super effectively by Psychic moves. So I'm just going to use Meteor Mash. Just a little bit over 3 minutes. Just a little bit over 3 minutes, and we'll be ready to take our Pudding Chômeur out of the oven. And there we go. Hariyama is down for the count. I have a feeling this is going to be a sweep. I don't think that we're going to need to... Ooh, this is the Tauros that is part fire type. Let me see, is there anyone else we could switch to in the party? No, we have a lot of Pokemon on our team that unfortunately are weak towards fire type moves, and Florges is hit neutral. So I'm going to stick in, and I'll use Zen Headbutt. And, oh, it didn't even use a fire move, though. It used Earthquake, which still hurts us decently because it's, you know, hit super effectively by ground type moves, but there we go. The Zen Headbutt. And here we go, Breloom, which is a Pokemon that has access to Spore, so we got to be careful, but I think we just throw luck to the wind, we should be okay. We didn't even use Spore, we used Mach Punch. It resisted it with its Focus Sash, but we have a priority move, so in the end, it didn't even matter. Crabrawler, kind of a weak end to this team, to be totally honest. I don't know if Crabrawler can really put a stop to our sweep at this point. And there we go. Brawly has been defeated. And we got gym badge number 4. The idea is that you get 8 gym badges, as is tradition with most Pokemon games, and then from there, you would go on to battle 4 Elite Four members, then 1 champion, and then maybe there might be some sort of surprise after that, but I don't want to spoil it for anyone that might want to check out Pokemon Emerald Rogue in the future. Let's see, we have a few different routes we can choose from, but we also have literally under a minute left as well. Just for fun, I'm going to go into this one, which is called a Tough Mighty route. If something is called a tough route, it means that typically the route only has 2 Pokemon that you can capture in it. In this case, it's Seenie and Breloom, and it also has a lot of trainers. Breloom would actually be not a bad addition to our team, but we're kind of running out of time really quickly here. While in the middle of a run in Pokemon Emerald Rogue, we only have the option to quick save, which means that when we would close the game and reopen the game, we would only be able to return to this point, but it's not a problem. I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna do ourselves a quick save. And there we go. Go and follow at Pokabi on Twitter. She's the original creator of this mod, and she is a great person. And with that, our time is up. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to switch away from this, bring in our Pudding Chômeur, and we're going to give this a good old-fashioned taste test. Your boy is back, and let me tell you, I got something super duper sweet in store for you all today. Ladies and gentlemen and non-binary people of the chat, this right here is the Pudding Chômeur. Let me real quick bring in a more zoomed out view right in front of us so I can show this at a slightly better angle. Let me tell you, this thing right here, It's not as aromatic as I would have thought it to be, but it is a beautiful looking specimen. A beautiful looking specimen that, where did I put my phone? It's right over there. Oh shit, I didn't even realize. I thought I left it upstairs. In fact, it was on the desk all along. Let me go grab this thing real quick so I can take just a couple of pictures just to catalog our great achievement that we have done today. Let's see here. Let's see here. Oh no. Is phone out of energy? Nope, we're good. I thought for a moment the phone might have run out of energy, but we are okay. What is this? Natural light? No. Studio light? No, no, no. We don't want any of that. There we go. We want studio light. That's preferable. We can always change the lighting later on. Now let's just take a couple of photos from the other side as usual. And I'll get a couple of super duper close-up photos where you can't even see the desk around it. All you can see is just the pudding chômeur itself. There we go. All right. There's enough photos taken. Let's go ahead. Let's dig into this beautiful boy. Let's go ahead. We'll bring in our more zoomed in camera. What we're going to do is I have set up right over here a nice, beautiful plate that we only, whoops, almost broke it, that we only bring out for the most extravagant of occasions. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut myself a nice rectangular piece, and I'm going to schlep it onto our plate like such. It's not necessarily the most appetizing thing you've ever seen, but we do have a little hidden ingredient, and that is a thing of Quebec whipped cream. I bought this thing just ahead of time yesterday because I knew we were going to need a little something extra to complement our pudding chômeur. It says that we need to shake vigorously and then turn it upside down and press the nozzle sideways. So let's go ahead and let's take the plastic thing off the nozzle. Gonna shake vigorously. Shake, 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 shake it up. All right, and let's go ahead and let's put our cream on. There we go. And without further ado, let's taste test today's creation. Also, the rain is picking up all of a sudden. I don't know why. All of a sudden it started raining a whole lot more. Okay. Getting back on track, let's taste test today's creation. I'm gonna get a good glob of both the pudding chômeur and the whipped cream all at once. Okay. So you wouldn't tell it, be able to tell it from just looking at the pudding chômeur as it currently is, but the top of the pudding chômeur has almost like a taffy-like consistency to it. Biting into it, I thought it would be kind of crumbly or cake-like, but instead it almost tastes like I'm eating through a very like doughy maple taffy. It's really, it makes for a very satisfying initial impression. And then the rest of it is a pretty mellow maple flavored dessert. It's pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty sweet, but it's also not overly sweet. It's not as sweet as I thought it was gonna be either. In a good way. Yeah, I was a little concerned with this one. This was our first time making pudding chômeur on any stream. My first time making pudding chômeur, period. And like, you know, you have these classic Quebecois foods that, you know, have a lot of tradition behind them, that a lot of people have a lot of respect for. You're sometimes a little bit concerned, am I going to be able to really do right by this thing that people have a lot of love for, have a lot of respect for, people that people really like build so much of their identity around, so much of their, you know, past history and memories around. And I think that I did a pretty good job. The one thing I'll say is, and it's delicious, it's absolutely delicious, but this thing is pretty flat. Earlier in the stream, I remarked how we were going to be making like a pretty flat pudding chômeur, and it is a pretty flat pudding chômeur. I would be interested to see if this would have come out even a little bit better if we had done it in like a 9x9" baking pan, compared to the image that we have on the upper left corner of the screen, which you can see it's like a pretty thick and fat pudding chômeur. What we made is like a pretty like flat pudding chômeur, but the taste is still excelente. Ready Row says, where is the cooking? I'm sorry to say this, Ready Row, but you actually missed a lot of the cooking. On today's stream, we made pudding chômeur, which is a classic Quebecois dish, a maple flavored Canadian delicacy, and it came out excellently. But unfortunately, yeah, we don't have any more cooking in store for us anymore. Of course, you can go and rewatch the VOD of the stream later on, but yeah, we're about wrapped up with our cooking for the night. That being said, I appreciate you tuning in all the same. Welcome to the chat. All right, and with that taken care of, I do want to eat more of our pudding chômeur, but I also don't want to spoil myself. Ready Rose says, how does it taste? It looks great. What surprised me a lot about the pudding chômeur is just how kind of taffy and chewy the top layer of it was. I was expecting it to have a very soggy consistency to it, and it really doesn't. It actually tastes like something that like has a lot of like integrity to it, which I really appreciated. It came out really great, even though it is very different from the, again, much thicker pudding chômeur that you can see in the upper left corner as our reference image of what this thing is supposed to look like. With that taken care of, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into tonight's stream. Remember that this is season 5 of Kozibear's Cooking, and that new episodes of it are currently streaming live every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on both twitch.tv/KozibearLive and youtube.com/@KozibearLive from now until August 7th. You can also watch past VODs of both this season and all the prior seasons of Kozibear's Cooking on both platforms, as well as highlight reels and clips of this season's best moments exclusively on YouTube. And if you want to keep track with me outside of my streaming efforts, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at AlexKozina. That's AlexKozina. With that taken care of, we're going to go ahead and we're going to close out tonight's stream by rating someone as usual. Let's see here. Who is currently online? Kent_TV22 is online. Adam Crow is online. Giant Chipperell is online. You know what? Giant Chipperell, that's another Canadian-based streamer. I think we're going to let's show Giant Chipperell a little bit of love. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to initiate the raid.